Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel. Today, I'm joined by FPL Salah to preview Game Week 16. Quick turnaround, Abdul, and for full context, we are recording this on Thursday around lunchtime. It's coming out Friday morning, but there are still, at the time of recording, 2 games still to go in this game week. Despite that, Abdul, you're sitting pretty. Another green arrow, looking pretty good. Tell the viewers so far, your game week is almost finished. How's it been?
Yeah, been okay, I guess. Disappointed in the defence. Arsenal conceding 3 goals to Luton. I've only got Dubravka and Son to go, but I've got a small green so far. So I think I really need Son to go, big for me to have a decent, a decent size green this week. But yeah, it's okay. It all depends on today. I need the likes of Trippier and Gordon to stay quiet.
It's really funny because obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but you guys watching right now know what would have happened, and you'll know. If Abdul is sitting here on a red or a green. I kind of envy your position, to be honest. I'd love to know how well these players do, especially the likes of Trippier and Gordon, not in either mine or Abdul's teams. But Son actually sitting at kind of 50% EO, which is, I can't quite believe he's that low. But I guess some people did sell him last week before his double-digit haul against City. But a lot rests on him. What are you thinking overall with the team then? Looking forward, are you happy with the majority of it, or do you think there needs to be some changes?
Well, I think I'm pretty happy apart from Mbuemo. So I think he's going to be assessed today. Thomas Frank said yesterday went over his ankle. He got carried off, Jack. So it doesn't look too good. I think before any kind of diagnosis, I would assume he is going to be out for Sheffield United at least. And if he is, then I think, we'd kind of need to get rid of him.
Is it, sorry to interrupt, is it a definite sell? Do we definitely have to sell him?
I think so. Because, if he, let's just say, obviously if he's fit, then you don't sell him. If he's out for one game week, let's just say, right, I would still say it's a sell because he misses Sheffield United, then he's got Aston Villa, and then he's got a blank game week. And then he's got 2 more games and then he goes off to AFCON. So then you're missing 2 games there over the next 5 game weeks where you can get Gordon, Palmer, Sterling, whoever you want. You're getting probably an extra 2 games over the next 5 game weeks, and you get an extra 1 game over the next 3. So yeah, I'd say it was a sell if he's out for 1 game week. Of course, if he's out for longer, he's 100% a sell. But it also depends. If you've got a really decent bench option, which in my position I don't. I've got Archer, Taylor, and Gahey on the bench. But if you've got a really decent bench, and you could play somebody a good option and possibly bench and Benwo this week, then that's an option. But for me, in my position with my team, he'd be a sell.
Yeah, I can't really get away from. I completely agree with you. I can't get away from the fact that if he is missing this game, then he's missing 18 as well. Then, as you say, he's going off to AFCON. Surely at this point, even if you do have a lot of money in him, and you don't want to lose that necessarily if you're not entirely sure, it's probably time if he's out this week to sell. So then options, what are you thinking? Because Gordon seems the obvious pick there, and I know that's probably what you're thinking of, but is there anyone else that's come into the equation a little bit in that midfield role?
Well, the thing is, in my position as well, I've only got 0.3 in the bank, so I can't really stretch to a Foden or a Bowen, who look like good options. And I think if I had the money, I think Bowen would probably be my top option.
Oh, really?
Quite honest, yeah.
Okay.
He nailed 90-minute man. He's played 90 minutes in every game he started this season. Of course, when he was injured for a few games, but he did come back. So for me, I've already got Palmer. So obviously, I think Palmer's going to be popular, and Gordon are going to be the 2 popular options. So for me, it's between, I think, Gordon and Sterling right now. And I think Gordon, it just seems like a really easy move, you know what I mean, Jack? Because he's got decent fixtures over the next 5. He's pretty good for minutes. Sterling is good as well. I think he's a bit of a differential pick. He could do really, really well. Chelsea's fixtures are much better than Newcastle's over the long term. They've got really good games, and he could really do well over up to game week 22. And then we've got options like Hwang and Mohamed Kudus who are good as well. But the reason why I've kind of checked them off my list is because they're both going to AFCON in game week 20, and I've already got Son and
Salah. Asia Cup for Hwang.
Yeah, sorry, Asian Cup for Hwang, sorry. But they both go away at the same time, which is after game week 20, and they kind of return at the same time as well. Well, kind of the tournament, both tournaments finish a day after each other. So that's the reason I've kind of ticked them off. However, because I'm getting rid of Embuemo, now I've only got Son and Salah really in my
Hmm.
team who are going to AFCON. So, I mean, I guess I could potentially go for one of them. However, it's just one of those, Jack, where it's like, okay, I'll have them in my team, then I'll need to think about removing them coming up to Game Week 20. And we've already seen this week, like during this period, things happen. Like players get injured, and Embuemo got injured this week. So, I mean, ideally, in like an ideal world, I could bring in one like Hwang or Kudus and get rid of them quite easily up to Game Week 20, but that's only if I don't have any other issues in my team,
Yeah.
which
It's
is not
very
been.
unlikely through this
Yeah,
period.
yeah, and especially during the December period.
Exactly.
So right now I'm thinking of Gordon or Sterling really.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that answer because I do think that Gordon is the obvious pick. He's who I'll be going for, no doubt about it. But there you go, guys. If you do want to go outside the box, that's four options there for you that Abdul's just listed the pros and cons of. All very solid options. You can see by the predicted points, all actually relatively similar. But Gordon is still at the top, despite being flagged just ahead of Bowen, really. I mean, he's pretty much done the same, but marginally ahead of Bowen on the predicted points to go ahead of him there. Yeah, it does seem like a little bit of a no-brainer. I would really love to be able to go for Sterling. Watching us last night once again. I mean, this is I'm not even saying this just as a Chelsea fan. Just I would love to have more options in the midfield that we could jump to in the likes of a Sterling. And I thought that after that massive haul against Luton early in the season, he could bear fruit as an FPL asset.
Yeah,
I just personally couldn't
he
go there
hasn't
when you
really
have the
kind
value
of
of Gordon.
lived up to that, has he? Really?
No,
Much.
sadly not. Sadly not. Okay, you know what? I'll put that transfer in, right? And Burmo to Gordon seems like it's a pretty standard transfer that a lot of people are going to be making. And Burmo to either Gordon or Palmer, whoever you don't have this week. Apart from that, what are you thinking? Talk me through your defense, because as with pretty much every other team out there, that is looking the weakest.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gameweek 16 is just one of those where you've got to write off for defence. There's not really, any good fixtures really for defence. Arsenal play Villa, and then City, nobody's really got City defenders. Newcastle got Spurs away. Liverpool got Palace away. If you've got the likes of Trent or any Liverpool defenders, then that's a decent fixture. But I don't see any moves worth really making in my defence because I've got Pinnock there who's got Sheffield United at home.
Yeah.
Arsenal have I've got a double Arsenal defence. Don't see a clean sheet there, but from long term up until game week 22 at least, Arsenal have got good fixtures, so I probably will keep that double defence. But the Gordon transfer kind of opens a lot up for me as well. Because not only does it, it gives me like about 1 million in the bank. So now I can, get a Pedro Porro in for somebody like Gahey in the next few weeks. In game week 18, I'm planning to get in like Chelsea defenders in next week. So I think this week I'm gonna just leave the defense because I really don't see any moves worth making. I know it's gonna be it's gonna be a weekend, but apart from my my kind of Embuemo replacement, the rest of my team I think looks totally fine.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like if there was a clear defender with a lot of upside that you could go for this week that has been performing really well and clean sheets look like, there's at least a decent chance, you probably could. I mean, how many transfers do you have actually?
I've got one free transfer.
Okay. Yeah, so not for a hit. Probably not for a hit.
So it's
right?
not. I mean, look, I could have bought in Porro this week for a hit. I've had 2 free transfers. I could have bought in Porro this week, which I could well have done. I mean, I know they've got Newcastle at home, but Porro has been really, really attacking.
Do you think you'd do that if you had 2 frees?
I think I would. I think I would have gone for. I don't know actually, because I would have gone for like Embuemo to Gordon, and I could have done Gahey to Porro. But then that would mean, I think I would because then I could just bench Gabriel for Porro.
Yeah.
So I think if I had 2 free transfers, I would have done that move, but it's not worth a hit.
No.
So I'll leave that move until game week 18 because I think next week I've kind of provisionally got planned in to bring in Colwill or a Chelsea defender. So I will be asking you for some advice on that because I'm really
Well, that is a really tough one. I mean, James, I was waiting for James to be honest because I was thinking Porro or James. If I wasn't going to make the move this week, wait one more week as well, perhaps. As you say, plum fixture run for Chelsea from next week. But I mean, I don't even know where I'd go now. I'm obviously going to give it another week. These weekend fixtures.
I mean, I'm thinking Colwill.
Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking Colwill at the moment. I think he's looking at his price, 4.5 million. He can play left back, he can play left centre back. So, but Badia Shula at 4.4. I don't know. He looks like a decent shout. But
it didn't play. Didn't play the last game. And Colwell as well has been nailed this season when he's been in the team, when he's
Yeah,
been fit, sorry, of course. But now, I mean, the manager seems to be favouring Cucurella a little bit as well. And if
yeah,
James is going to play, then Cucurella can only really play on the left.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't think I'll be getting James. I think that's one player I think I've
Okay.
kind of written off. I think I'd rather much prefer Porro than James and go for a Caldwell. I mean, I just think you got bench against United, and then who knows with his fitness as well. You know, he's not got a good record with that. So I've been burnt plenty of times in the past by these James. So
Yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
kind of going to be avoiding that.
All right. So if I was to ask you, out of all defenders in the game
Mm.
this game week, who do you think is going to score the most points this week? No
Mm-hmm.
rush. Take your time. Who do you think you'd go for? Because a lot of people moving down from a Burmo to like a Gordon or a Palmer may
Mm.
already have quite a lot of money in the bank. And that might enable them to go from, say, if they wanted to jump from one of their Arsenal defenders, maybe even a Saliba, who's got quite a big price, up to anyone in that defender category. Who would you say they should go for?
I would say Porro is the one to get next.
Okay.
I mean, I think Trent has been amazing, but he is really expensive. He's 8 million now, so you're gonna have to find a lot of money. And I think for a lot of people that won't really be realistic. And I think Porro is a really good price at 5.3. Spurs have got kind of good long, kind of medium term fixtures. And again, he's just so attacking. I mean, they're like 10th for expected goals conceded, so you won't get many clean
Yeah.
sheets out of them. But he is just really attacking, and when they will get the odd clean sheet. Romero should be back as well, so that should kind of strengthen him a little bit. But yeah, I think Porro's the one to get. If you're going for a defender this week,
To be fair, it does seem like there are so few clean sheets this season anyway that
it
going
has
after
been.
them might even just be a little bit pointless. Obviously,
Mhm.
that is the cornerstone of a good defender, how likely they are or how many clean sheets they can keep. But
Yeah,
yeah, as we've seen with Porro already, an attacking return in the
yeah.
bonus doesn't necessarily need the clean sheet, and maybe it's more viable this season just with the added injury time and the fact that there do just seem to be more goals to go with someone that has that attacking upside.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I've I was banking on a Arsenal clean sheet this week, double Arsenal defense. Conceded 3 goals. Both of them are nailed, but 1 pointers.
Yeah.
Gahey, 90-minute man, 1 pointer, Bournemouth at home. So yeah, it's looking that way. Who knows if if it'll carry on that way? But I think at the moment it's really tough. I mean, the defenders under 5 million are just so tough to pick.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me ask you about your goalkeeper selection this week. Very
Yeah,
close on predicted points, Dubravka and Areola.
yeah.
Who are you thinking to start?
I'm going to go Areola because I just think,
Really? Okay.
yeah, because look, Tottenham away and then Fulham away. Firstly, West Ham have got around about 8% more chance of keeping a clean sheet if you look at the odds. And I just think, Spurs, okay, Newcastle added a good defence, but Spurs are a really good attack. I mean,
Hmm.
I really don't see Spurs not scoring in that game, but I do see, Fulham possibly not scoring in that game. Like, I think there's more chance of Fulham drawing a blank than there is of Spurs drawing a blank. So on that basis, I'll go Areola.
Does EO come into your thinking at all here? Because obviously you know that even in that game um, away to Tottenham,
Mm-hmm.
the Newcastle clean sheet in general, the Newcastle defence with the likes of Trippier, Lascelles, Shah, and then Dubravka,
Yeah.
that is quite a lot of ownership, for that clean sheet. Does that come into your thinking at all? Kind of covering that and an EO sort of risk averse play?
No, I don't think so. I think when it comes to goalkeepers, defenders, I think it's best just to go for me anyway, I just go for the ones who, I think are going to be the highest scorers, like going to go with the clean sheet odds, or go with the attacking defender. I think EO comes more into play when you're looking at, big decisions like captaincies and things like that. But no, I wouldn't say. I just go with the one who you think is going to keep the clean sheet, and get the most points.
Fair enough. Okay, let's move on to captaincy then. Who
Mhm.
are you going to go with?
So right now it's on Haaland. Like Luton away. I think this one you probably don't need to really overthink too much. Son is an option at Newcastle home, and then Salah got Crystal Palace away. But I just think that Luton fixture is the best fixture this week. Yeah, City lost last week, Haaland blank, but that's not going to happen. Most weeks. Haaland is still Haaland, and City are still City. They still scored the most goals in the league, and I think they're third for non-pen XG. So they're going to have their off days. They are going through a bit of a wobble. They've drawn three and lost one in the last four, but
Yeah.
I think Luton is just a perfect fixture just to bounce back from that, really, isn't it?
Does it concern you a little bit, just Luton's home form? I mean, yes, they did still concede four
Mm.
goals to Arsenal at home, but it does seem like they make it tough for big teams there. We've seen with Arsenal, with Liverpool as well recently as well, that it is a tough place to go, Kenilworth Road. And City, as you
Yeah,
said, don't look great.
I think they're better in attack than they are defense. I mean, they're still actually last for expected goals conceded. So despite Sheffield United, actually conceding more goals, Luton have actually got the worst expected goals conceded. I think that's when I last checked. You might want to double check that, but yeah. So I mean, I'm not worried about that fixture. I think it's a fairly easy one for me, Haaland. I guess you could say there is a small possibility that he's benched. I think a lot of
Really? Okay.
well, yeah. I mean, just with the tight turnarounds, but I don't think he will be. I think there's for me, I'd give him like a 95% chance of starting, but you never know, do you? Really?
Yeah, definitely a tough one. Okay, let's round things off by looking at your AI recommended transfer this week.
Yeah.
Before I show you and the viewers, what do you think it's going to be?
Probably Mbuemo to Gordon or Saliba to Porro. I think maybe.
You know what's interesting is that
Mm.
it is Mbomo to Gordon, but that is actually the alternative option. The recommended option is to bank, roll it. Now, obviously, a lot of that depends on any updates we get on Mbomo, and also, of course, once again, we're recording this on Thursday, so we'll know about the fitness of Gordon and how much he played yesterday night or tonight for us at the time of recording, and how he looked in terms of fitness and minutes and that sort of thing. But I guess it just comes down to your own sort of intuition and understanding and thoughts on who is more likely to play over this period. Does Gordon's kind of need, with the dearth of other options going forward for Newcastle, to play seemingly every minute across this period, worry you a little bit at all in terms of potentially picking up more niggles, just getting tired perhaps?
I mean, no. I mean, I don't think we can really preempt those kind of things. I mean, injuries are bound to happen. We just don't know to who and when. So I think we just have to, when a player's fit, he's fit, and you just make your plans accordingly. And when something happens, you have to adjust the plans. So no, I don't really think too much about that. About players playing too much, or you just can't preempt injuries. You
Yeah.
can't think, oh, this player's playing too much, and he might get injured or he might be tired. I just think when you've got to look at what their expected minutes are. In the near future. I think with Gordon, they're pretty good because although Newcastle got quite a packed schedule, they've got AC Milan after Fulham, and then they've got the Chelsea and the Carabao Cup in December as well. It's like, who really is there to play instead of Gordon in that position? With Barnes still injured, so yeah, he may get run into the ground, and he may get injured due to that, and I'll keep him until that happens.
Yeah,
If
very
that happens.
fair. Can't
Yeah.
argue with that. So, well, I completely agree. Yeah, you got to just wait until something happens if it does. Okay, my friend. I think that is going to do it
Yeah.
for this one. Good luck for the rest of this game week. As always, guys,
Sure.
let us know in the comments how badly we've both done due to last night's game. Again, recording this on the Thursday. As always, link to sign up to Fantasy Football Hub, where you can have a look at everything that I've shown in this video for your own team, is down below in the description and the pinned comments. Still going with that offer, 30% off and a 30-day free trial. If you don't like it, you can just cancel it for free. You're not going to, but you can if you really want to. After all, thank you very much as always.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys on the next Game Week preview.
See you guys.